Hey guys, welcome to ED Technology. My name is Navjot Singh Jadeja, and in today's video, we are going to talk on database management system. So, what exactly DBMS is? What does the importance of DBMS plays in the computer science? So that's what we will be discussing. So let's begin our journey. So basically, DBMS is database management system, and in this video we'll be breaking down this particular thing in order to understand it very well, so that rest of the things which connects the DBMS are much more clear. So in order to understand this, in order to understand why do we need database, we need to understand why data and information play an important role in the computer science. So in order to understand that, we have to understand data and information. So I have got some table in here for you to understand. So basically, data is a raw organized facts, right, which requires a lot of processing. And data can be something which is very simple, sometimes it is very random, and most of the time it is useless unless it is organized or processed. Whereas information which you see here is more processed, more organized, and a very structured form which can be used for different sorts of decision making, as we are seeing it in here. Like for information processing, data can be used, whereas information can be used for decision making. And how? We'll be seeing this in the second row, which is the example I'm taken here. So if you get something like this, marks is equal to 82. So that does not help you understand what are we trying to say. Out of how much, whose mark, what is the score, is it good, is it bad? We can't be deciding that. But if I tell you the average score of a class or of the entire school, then that particular thing is known as information that can actually be derived from the data, but it helps you understand things much better. So in the current scenario, when we have a lot of systems which generate a huge amount of data, it is very important that we understand that we need information which can be acting as in the base to decision making. And also nowadays, if we talk about, there are a lot of data mining, artificial intelligence, machine learning systems which can actually convert this information into a knowledge form also. So that is why information is a very important form. So in order to organize the data into information, we have three different models, right? We are not getting into the depth of this. Maybe in the further video, we might discuss each of them in detail. But in general, we have three data models. One is when we are organizing the data into an hierarchical data structure, which is also known as tree structure, where we are organizing the data in a form of a tree structure. Second is we have a very old and a very recognized model, which is network data model, also known as graph data structure. So this can also be utilized in order to organize the data and convert it or process it in a way where it can be converted into information. And third one is a relational data model, which actually stores in the form of arrays and the table. So this is the model which are used to convert data into information. And what we are going to discuss over a period of time in the series of videos is the third one, because the major reason for using the relational model as in the storage mechanism or converting the data into information is, one is that it's very easy to use, because as you can understand, arrays and tables are easier to implement and use compared to the tree or graph models, right? Also, most popular softwares in the database such as Oracle, MySQL are using relational model for storing the data, right, and converting the data into an information form. So that is why people prefer relational model. Now let's break it up again. As I mentioned earlier, now we understand why we need database management system, the whole scenario of converting data into information. So let us understand the first part, which is database in the DBMS, the set of related information when placed in an organized container forms the database. So again, let me break it up for you, and if required, let me highlight few things. So I'm saying set of related information, because when we are storing in the database, we are giving the connections, we are giving the relations, and I will be explaining you what are relations, entities, etc. in the further videos. So in here, when we are talking about database, they are set of related information organized in a container. So it's a common container within which all the data is organized in the form of information, that is known as database, right? So this is what the database in DBMS is. When we talk about the M, it is the management. So the overall system which manages the information. When I say management, I mean creating the tables, updating the data, inserting the data into those tables, or inserting and playing with the data, retrieving whenever required in form of an information, and deleting when not required. This all sorts of processes within the database is the management, right? So that is M in the DBMS. And the final part is the system, the software which does all the task of database management. So you can be using Oracle, you can be using MySQL, you can be using a very basic like MS Access or Fox Pro, but ultimately the software which performs all the task related to data and management is known as the DBMS software. So let us summarize this all and come to one conclusion. So what exactly is DBMS? So the complete system or a software which can store, retrieve, define and manage the data in a database is known as database management system. And as I gave you example earlier, there are multiple softwares available to perform the task of DBMS, which we'll be seeing in detail in the further videos. So I think this video helps you understand what exactly the DBMS is and why do we need the DBMS, right?